Hello, my name is Lindsay Farnham, and today I will be presenting on how we can bridge gaps in the classroom through intentional and accessible technology use, specifically for a middle school resource setting. The contents of this presentation include meeting our teacher, the challenges she faces in her classroom, what technology solutions and tools we've created to help with those challenges, as well as how she can use those tools in a lesson plan, as well as our assessment and conclusion and the importance of it. Let's meet our teacher. Miss Alt is a middle school resource teacher who works with students who have very diverse learning needs. She's deeply dedicated to her students and really tries to create an inclusive and supportive environment where all of her learners can grow and succeed. So, necessarily, it's very hard for her to do that when she has certain challenges that she faces. She faces low funding, non-working Chromebooks, and limited technology resources. That really affects the student engagement and participation. In her classroom, which ranges from 7th to ninth grade as well as 12 to 15 years of age, these students typically have individualized learning needs and require differentiated instruction, support, and engaging methods to help them succeed. This lesson aligns with Arkansas ELA standards as well as ISTE standards for students, including empowered learning, creative communicator, and digital citizen. These standards emphasize student engagement, creativity, and responsible technology use, as well as accessibility. To support Mrs. Alt, I selected low-cost and accessible technology tools that can work even with limited resources. Even with limited devices. These tools are designed to increase engagement, provide accessibility, and support a student-centered learning environment. Let's look at them. The first tool that I have selected for her for the interactive learning is Pear Deck. This platform will allow her to present interactive slides where her students can respond in real time. Even with her limited devices, it can be used as a whole class interactive experience, helping her students to stay engaged in their lesson. I really like this one. Our tool number 2 that we have for accessibility would be Audio Note. This tool records lessons while syncing with notes, allowing students to revisit instruction at their own pace. It is especially helpful for those students who need repetition and additional support, which in Mrs. Alt's classroom remains pretty much all of them. Very helpful with that. The third tool that I have provided for her is Quizlet. Quizlet provides an interactive study tool such as flashcards and games. This is really going to go for the engagement side of learning. This is going to activate their knowledge as well as engage them without that pressure of formal testing, which I know a lot of students have, especially in the resource classroom. So the way this is going to go, the lesson flow kind of day 1 is where Miss Alt is going to present her concept, which here is narrative writing and parts of speech. So this is an English lesson. She's going to use Pear Deck to engage the students, and then students are going to respond via shared or individual devices. Let's see what this looks like. So for our guided practice, students are going to listen to the recorded explanation, which will be used with Audio Note. They're going to get the opportunity to work in small groups, as well as have the teacher rotate and support as they need. I really like that one. With our application setting, which is going to go back to our student application, the students are going to apply their learning by creating their own sentences or short narratives. Quizlet is used to reinforce their vocabulary. They can run through the vocabulary if they want to through the flashcards, and then they're going to study the key concepts through that interactive practice of flashcards and games. In Miss Alt's classroom, she does have a lot of differentiated learning. From teaching 7th to ninth grade, you've got to have different lesson plans on there. So this lesson that we've created supports all learners by providing multiple ways to access the information. You have your audio, which supports your struggling readers. You have your visuals, which supports comprehension. And then you have your group work, which encourages collaboration and peer learning, which also keeps them very engaged. Slide over here. So, in our assessment, the student learning is going to be assessed through the Pear Deck responses, as well as their Quizlet progress, as well as Mrs. Alt's teacher observation. They're also going to have a short writing assignment, which will be kind of where Mrs. Alt observes where they're at, if they're engaged, if they're learning, and if they've comprehended. These methods focus on growth, understanding, and rather than just to test performance and worrying about grades, it's really going to focus on that growth part. Focus on growth, not just grades. Key term there. The reason that this matters is, in conclusion, even with all these limited resources, meaningful learning is still possible. That's what you want in the classroom. By using intentional and accessible technology, Mrs. Alt can create an environment where all of her students feel supported and engaged and capable of success. Even limited resources can create meaningful learning. Every student deserves engagement and opportunity. With the right tools and heart, even the smallest classroom can become a place where students feel seen, capable, and inspired. Thank you.